The Empire's unspeakable crime. Aurora, 6 died in silence. It began with a static ripple across every comm screen in the United Terran Fleet's command nexus. Officers paused mid-sentence, their conversations freezing as the holographic display flickered. Then the feed stabilized, showing the peaceful white sand coasts of Aurora 6, a colony known for scientific academies, ocean farms, and quiet, idyllic cities. For 3 seconds, everything looked normal. Children played near the shoreline. A woman carried groceries. A drone bus glided over a crystal blue canal. Then the sky tore open. Dozens of Imperial warships erupted from hyperspace in a burning arc. No warnings, no demands, no negotiations. Their formation was too precise, too mercilessly clean. Everyone in the command nexus knew this wasn't a raid. It was extermination. The first orbital lance fired. A white beam cut downward, vaporizing an entire district. The screen shook as an expanding dome of fire swallowed buildings and streets, turning them to glowing ash. People ran. Screams flooded the feed. More lances followed, each a spear of light slamming into the colony like the fist of a vengeful god. "Why aren't they opening channels?" an officer whispered, voice trembling. "Because they didn't come to talk," replied another. Within minutes, Aurora 6 became a storm of boiling clouds and charred ruins. Terran Command tried to establish a shield relay, but the Empire jammed the frequency with insulting ease. The last image broadcast was of a bunker, children pressed against one another, a stuffed orange cat clutched in small arms, as a shockwave of molten light consumed everything. Then the feed went dark. Silence claimed the nexus. No one breathed. It felt as though the entire solar system had stopped spinning. 8 million souls, gone in less than 4 minutes. A door hissed open. General Cassandra Holt strode into the command chamber with the controlled fury of a star collapsing inward. Her white uniform, immaculate as always, looked almost too bright against the grief-stricken faces around her. Her jaw was clenched tight enough to crack. The air seemed to bend around her presence. "Status," she demanded. Admiral Kaido swallowed hard. "Aurora 6 is gone. No survivors detected." The Empire executed a full planetary purge. Cassandra didn't blink. Her eyes narrowed, burning with a cold, lethal intensity. They violated every treaty ever signed, every law, every code of war created in 10,000 years. Kaido nodded grimly. "The Senate has convened an emergency session. They're debating retaliation." Cassandra's lip curled. Debating. Around her, officers exchanged uneasy glances. She stepped toward the main holodable with a frozen last frame of Aurora 6, children in a bunker, hovered in shimmering blue light. "They slaughtered civilians," she said quietly. "Families. Scientists. Our people." Her voice was soft, but everyone in the room felt the weight of an oncoming avalanche. "The Empire has committed genocide." Admiral Kaido stepped forward, lowering his voice. "General, the Senate wants restraint. Several alien coalitions fear destabilizing the region. They insist we wait for an investigation." Cassandra turned her head slowly, her expression carved from stone. "Investigate what?" "The color of the ashes." No one dared answer. The diplomatic channels activated. The image of the Empire's viceroy appeared, tall, reptilian, adorned in obsidian armor. His expression was one of boredom, as though Earth were an inconvenience he'd rather swat away. "Humans," he drawled, "I trust you received our demonstration. Aurora 6 was a nest of insurgents. We simply cleansed it." Cassandra stepped forward until she stood directly in front of the viceroy's projection. "You butchered children." He grinned, showing serrated fangs. "Collateral. You primates breed quickly enough. You can replace them." The room erupted, officers shouting, consoles slamming, but Cassandra raised a hand. Silence fell. She stared into the viceroy's eyes. "You think humanity is weak." "Not weak," he said with amusement. "Predictable. Soft. Forever clinging to your morality. Forever begging others to fight your battles." Cassandra exhaled slowly, her anger refined into something sharp and deadly. "You've mistaken mercy for weakness," she said. The viceroy tilted his head mockingly. "And what will you do, little general? File a complaint? Deliver stern remarks?" Cassandra didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "Listen carefully," she said, every syllable like a blade. "We won't stay merciful anymore." For the first time, the viceroy's smile faltered. The transmission cut. No one spoke as the hologram faded. Cassandra placed both hands on the holodeble, drawing in a long, steady breath. When she looked up, there was no softness left, only resolve. "Admiral," she said quietly, "prepare the Vanguard battle group." Kaido hesitated. "Cassandra, the Senate hasn't approved. This isn't about approval. It's about survival." She turned toward the room, voice rising with unstoppable conviction. "We either show the Empire that humanity will not be cowed, or we wait for them to burn Earth the same way they burned Aurora 6. The room shifted. Officers who had felt helpless minutes ago now stood straighter. Fire lit their eyes, mirroring hers. Cassandra Holt stepped into the center of the command chamber and issued the order that would change the galaxy forever. "Mobilize all ships. Today, we answer genocide with justice." Her final words echoed through the Nexus like a war drum. Mercy ends now. Humanity's fury awakens. The TFS resolute cut through hyperspace like a spear forged in fire. General Cassandra Holt stood on the command deck, hands clasped behind her back as the star lanes warped around the ship. 59 Terran vessels followed in formation. Destroyers, cruisers, stealth frigates, and 3 heavy carriers. Every one of them had departed Earth without Senate authorization. Every one of them carried volunteers. Cassandra's fleet was no longer just military hardware. It was grief sharpened into a weapon. She turned as Commander Ruiz approached. "All ships report ready," he said. "But some officers are uneasy, General. We're in uncharted political waters." Cassandra nodded once. "Tell them this. We are not here for politics. We are here for our dead." Ruiz saluted and hurried off, leaving her to face the swirling blue tunnel of hyperspace. She allowed herself a single breath, slow, steady. She thought of Aurora 6, of her sister's last recorded message. "We'll see you next month." There would be no next month. Cassandra's jaw tightened. "We move the moment we drop out." The first engagement. The Resolute snapped out of hyperspace above the storm-racked moon of Galder Outpost, one of the Empire's strategic relay stations. Metallic storm clouds swirled below, illuminated by lightning that cracked across the surface. Empire defenses activated instantly. "Multiple turrets locking on," said the tactical officer. "Empire cruiser inbound, class predation." Cassandra wasted no time. "Begin trivector assault." Terran vessels burst into formation. Vector 1, stealth frigates dug beneath sensor range, their hulls shimmering. Vector 2, the main battle line advanced with kinetic plasma cannons priming. Vector 3, electronic warfare specialists unleashed a storm of jamming pulses. Galder's defense grid fired first, lances of red energy streaking through the vacuum. Terran destroyers rolled aside, counterfire flashing like blue-white lightning. Shields at 60%. Vanguard 1 has taken a direct hit, still in the fight. Enemy cruiser is charging a saturation beam. Cassandra pointed toward the holographic display. "Target their power spine. All guns." 8 Terran ships obeyed at once. A synchronized barrage hammered the Empire cruiser along its central hull. The ship's shields collapsed. A moment later, its reactor blew, the explosion painting the void with a halo of molten metal. The Empire officers on the outpost hesitated for the first time. Humans weren't supposed to win frontal assaults. Humans weren't supposed to defy treaties. Humans weren't supposed to come here. But they had, and they were not stopping. "Frigates in position," Ruiz called. "Disable the relay," Cassandra ordered. "No survivors for their command chain, but rescue anyone enslaved." The order struck the crew like a bolt of electricity. Terran weapons pounded the outpost. The Empire returned fire, but Terran tactics Aggression mixed with unpredictable maneuvering overwhelmed them. In less than 11 minutes, Galder Outpost burned. The surviving Imperial officers surrendered in shock. As Marines stormed the command deck, the outpost commander stammered, "Humans don't fight like this. You're supposed to be merciful." A Marine answered with ice-cold clarity, "Not anymore." The discovery. Hours later, in the interrogation bay, Cassandra faced the captured Imperial Admiral, an older, scaled creature with orange-slitted eyes. "You expected us to hesitate," she said. The Admiral hissed nervously. "Your Senate always does." "Not this time." Cassandra leaned forward. "Tell me about the processing camps." The Admiral's pupils contracted. He looked genuinely afraid. "How do you?" "Tell me." The truth spilled fast. Aurora. 6 survivors hadn't all been killed. Thousands had been transported to labor camps scattered across frontier worlds. They were to be broken, harvested, and eventually exterminated. Cassandra's blood ran cold. "How many camps?" "Dozens," he whispered. "Gossarin. 3. It holds the largest transporter kind." Cassandra straightened, fury blazing behind her eyes. "Set course for Gossarin 3, she ordered. "We liberate them now." Gossarin 3, the Hell's Cape. The fleet arrived hours later. Where Aurora 6 had been swift annihilation, Gossarin 3 was slow torture. The planet's surface was scarred with industrial pits, slave barracks, and lines of exhausted humans dragging metal chains. Empire guards prowled with shock staves. Loudspeakers barked commands in a guttural Imperial dialect. The sight silenced every Terran sailor. Then the silence broke into a roar. Terran dropships poured from the Resolute like a metallic storm. Marines hit the ground with precision and wrath. Barracks walls exploded. Chains shattered. Guards fell beneath disciplined bursts of rifle fire. Cassandra landed in the central yard, boots crunching on dust and blood. Emaciated humans stared at her, eyes sunken, bodies frail, but their spirits flickering with new hope. "Who are you?" a trembling woman asked. Cassandra removed her helmet, kneeling. "General Cassandra Holt. We're here to bring you home." The woman wept. Dozens fell to their knees in relief. Terran soldiers tore down the Empire's banners and raised the Terran flag high. For the first time since the Genocide, the wind seemed to carry something other than sorrow. It carried hope. The Senate responds. Back on Earth, the Terran Senate was thrown into chaos. Cassandra Holt had not only defied their orders, she had humiliated the Empire, destroyed a key military outpost, and liberated a slave world. Billions watched her speeches and battlefield images in awe. Protests exploded across Earth and the colonies. Answer Aurora 6. Stand with Holt. No more mercy. Politicians panicked. Citizens rallied. Ancient allies reconsidered their loyalties. Cassandra Holt had become something bigger than a general. She had become the voice of humanity's fury. The final moment. As Gossarin 3's survivors boarded Terran ships, Cassandra looked up at the night sky. Aurora 6, she whispered. This is for you. Humanity had awakened, and the Empire was about to learn what that meant. The shattering of the Empire. The hyperspace tunnel collapsed around the Terran fleet as they emerged into the turbulent space of the Draken Rift, a violent region of fractured gravity wells and drifting asteroid clusters. Stars warped at odd angles beyond the shattered void. Here, navigational sensors struggled, and even the Empire avoided patrols. But today, the Empire was waiting. General, enemy contacts, the tactical officer shouted. Multiple signatures, no, hundreds. We're surrounded. A hologram flickered to life above the command dais. The Empire had deployed over 900 warships, battlecruisers, destroyers, long-range carriers, and a flagship the size of a small moon, its hull plated in black obsidian alloys. A trap. Cassandra Holt did not flinch. She stared at the hologram, studying the numbers with a calmness that unnerved her crew. Commander Ruiz swallowed. General, we're outnumbered 10-1. Cassandra exhaled once, steady and cold. Then we adapt. The Empire's challenge. An enormous Imperial icon pulsed on the view screen. A booming voice filled the Resolute's bridge. Human fleet, you have trespassed into Imperial territory, violated our sovereignty, and attacked our installations. Your insubordination ends here. Silence. Then, prepare to be erased. Cassandra stepped forward, her voice carrying steady fire. This isn't your territory. These stars belong to the people you enslaved. Today, we free them. The Imperial Admiral laughed. Your species still thinks sentiment wins wars. Cassandra's gaze hardened. No, but strategy does. She cut the transmission. Signal the fleet, she ordered. Initiate pattern Tiberius. Ruiz's eyes widened. You're serious? Execute. The battle erupts. Terran ships roared into motion, splitting into 3 coordinated assault formations. The Empire opened fire first. Massive crimson lances streaked through the darkness, tearing space apart. The Resolute shook violently. Shields at 80%. Evasive pattern Delta. Human vessels dug between asteroid debris, weaving through the rift's unstable gravity pockets. Empire cruisers followed, and immediately lost formation as the rift tugged unpredictably at their trajectories. Cassandra anticipated this. The rift's currents will break their cohesion, she said. Push forward. Terran destroyers unleashed concentrated volleys of kinetic plasma hybrid cannons. Weapons so newly developed the Empire had no countermeasures. Their shots ripped through Imperial shields like paper. One Empire cruiser detonated in a storm of green flame. Then another. But the Empire still had numbers, far too many. General, the tactical officer cried. Enemy carrier group closing in. Fighters inbound, thousands of them. Cassandra tapped the holodeble. Deploy solar mirrors. The bridge fell silent. Now, Terran drones, flat, circular discs no larger than dinner plates, fired from launch tubes, streaking outward from the fleet. They hummed in formation, linking into an intricate geometric pattern. The Empire laughed at the harmless objects, until the rift's star came into alignment. Solar radiation flared, caught by the mirrors, then redirected, amplified, and focused. A burning white beam erupted from the drone array, slicing through swarms of fighters in a brilliant flash. Hundreds of small ships disintegrated instantly. The Terran crew burst into cheers. Keep moving, Cassandra shouted. We're not done. The moment of sacrifice. But victory never comes cheap. An Imperial dreadnought loomed behind the Resolute, charging a supermassive beam weapon. If it fired, the Terran command ship and Cassandra herself would vanish in an instant. General, Ruiz cried, it's targeting us. Cassandra saw no time for maneuvers. No escorts fast enough to intercept. Except one. The frigate TFS Sparrowhawk, damaged, barely holding integrity, suddenly veered off course. Its captain, Aryan Malik, appeared on the comm. General, it's been an honor. No, Cassandra barked. Malik, stand down. That's an order. He smiled faintly. For Aurora 6. The Sparrowhawk rammed the dreadnought at full burn. A silent explosion blossomed across the rift. Both ships vanished. Cassandra closed her eyes only for a second, but when she opened them, her grief had hardened into a diamond-edged weapon. Push forward, she said. For him. The fall of the Empire's flagship. The Empire's colossal flagship hovered at the center of the battlefield, its guns unleashing tidal waves of fire. Entire asteroids cracked apart under its assault. To destroy it would require a miracle, or something worse. Prepare micro-jump, Cassandra said. Ruiz stared at her. General, inside the rift? That's suicide. Yes, Cassandra said. For them. The Resolute's engines hummed as the fleet synchronized. Mark the jump, she commanded. In a flash of bending light, the Terran fleet vanished and reappeared behind the Empire's flagship within its blind spot. Fire! Every Terran ship unleashed everything they had: torpedoes, plasma barges, rail spear projectiles. The flagship's rear armor ruptured. A firestorm tore through its interior. The gigantic vessel spasmed, splitting down the spine in a catastrophic chain reaction. A brilliant explosion lit the entire rift like a second sun. The Empire's fleet faltered. Its morale broke. Its ships retreated, and humanity stood victorious. The galaxy changes. As debris drifted like frozen sparks, Cassandra stared at the tactical display. Thousands of enemy vessels destroyed, the Empire's greatest fleet shattered. "Signal the galaxy," she said. "What message, General?" Ruiz asked quietly. Cassandra looked at the stars, finally, impossibly, no longer dominated by Imperial banners. "Tell them," she said softly, "that the Empire can bleed." The message spread across every network, every enslaved world, every oppressed species. Rebellions ignited overnight. The Empire trembled, and humanity, once dismissed as weak and merciful, had now become the torch that would burn tyranny to its roots. The price of mercy lost. The galaxy had changed, but the war was not over. 3 days after the destruction of the Empire's flagship in the Draken Rift, the United Terran fleet cruised through liberated space like a ghostly reminder of what humans had become: ruthless in defense, relentless in pursuit, and unwilling to forgive genocide. General Cassandra Holt stood on the command deck of the TFS Resolute, watching star systems appear on the panoramic display. Dozens of them had been freed in the past 72 hours. Rebellions erupted everywhere. The Empire once claimed absolute dominion. The tyrants had never imagined humanity could ignite a galaxy-wide uprising simply by refusing to kneel. But Cassandra was not celebrating. Her eyes were fixed on a blinking red signal in the corner of the display, the last stronghold of the Empire's remaining high command. Vornax Prime. The world where the final remnant of Imperial rule had gathered for one last act of desperation. The Empire's final crime. A soft alarm chimed. "General," said Lieutenant Hannah Sharan from the comm station, "we've received an emergency distress call. Origin, New Odessa Colony." Cassandra stepped forward. "Patch it through." The view screen flickered. A grainy image appeared. Panicked colonists running, flames spreading along the horizon, medships lifting off too late. Then a voice. "This is New Odessa. We've been hit by cough, some kind of airborne plague. It spreads on contact. We don't know how many." Another scream. A body collapsing. Static. The transmission died. Cassandra's pulse went cold. Ruiz's voice shook. "General, biological scans confirm it. Empire strain. Engineered." They finally used the Vornax biolabs. Cassandra closed her eyes for a moment, not to rest, but to contain the fury threatening to boil over. "Medical projections?" she asked. Lieutenant Hannah whispered. "If it spreads to the colony's major hubs, millions could die." The bridge went silent. The Empire had committed one last genocide attempt, and Cassandra Holt knew exactly what her response had to be. Operation Ember. Cassandra turned toward Ruiz. Her voice was sharp, cutting, resolute. "Prepare Operation Ember." Ruiz stiffened. "General, that protocol was banned under the Coalition Accords." "Yes," she said, "which the Empire violated the moment they burned Aurora 6. Ruiz hesitated. "Ember will erase Vornax Prime, its fortresses, its fleets, its surface. We'll be judged for this." Cassandra faced him fully. "They unleashed plague on civilians. They used children as test subjects. They burned our world. Mercy died with Aurora 6. I will not let them murder another colony." Her voice was low, deadly calm. "Execute Ember." Ruiz saluted, though his eyes glimmered with fear, not of Cassandra, but of what humanity was becoming under her command. Within minutes, Terran warships armed their most powerful forbidden weapons. Orbital penetrators designed to destabilize a planet's mantle, shattering military infrastructure without causing planet-wide extinction. A scalpel made of molten fury. The assault on Vornax Prime. The fleet descended on Vornax Prime like an eclipse. Empire ships scrambled to defend the world. Battlecruisers, war barges, dreadnoughts. But they were disorganized, weakened by the galaxy-wide revolt Cassandra had ignited. "Push forward," Cassandra ordered. "Break their spine." Terran strike craft swarmed through the void, weaving between enemy fire like silver blades. Plasma barges erupted. Enemy hulls cracked open. Carriers fell burning toward the surface. Within minutes, the Empire's remaining fleet lay in ruin. The Resolute approached the planet's surface. "Launch penetrators," Cassandra commanded. A volley of molten projectiles streaked downward, trailing white-hot contrails. They hit the planet's crust with thunderous force, collapsing fortresses and research labs into superheated magma. From orbit, it looked like the world's surface was weeping fire. "General," Ruiz said softly, "the Empire's last command citadel is destroyed. They're finished. The war is over." Cassandra nodded, but her expression did not soften. "Begin humanitarian deployment to New Odessa. I want every medical ship we have offloaded immediately." Even in victory, even after revenge, humanity still rebuilt, still healed, still protected. The cost. Hours later, Cassandra walked through the quiet corridor of the Resolute, the hum of the engines a constant companion. She paused outside a small memorial chamber. Inside, holographic names floated in rows. Every Terran soldier lost since Aurora 6. The latest name still blinked. Captain Aryan Malik, the man who sacrificed himself in a rift. Cassandra reached out and steadied her trembling hand on the hologram. "I hope," she whispered, "that the galaxy we create is one you'd be proud of. A galaxy watching." News of the Empire's fall spread like wildfire. Billions of former slaves rose to their feet. Separatist worlds declared independence. Allied species publicly thanked humanity for achieving what no one had dared pursue. Some leaders whispered fearfully, "Humans are too powerful now." Others whispered respectfully, "Humans saved us." Without expecting tribute, without seeking conquest, humanity became something new. Not conquerors, not tyrants. Enforcers of justice. Defenders of the oppressed. A species that would not start wars, but would finish them. Final scene, the monument of Aurora 6. Weeks later, Cassandra stood on a new memorial platform above Aurora 6's restored site. Crystal spires rose in the twilight, etched with 8 million names. She traced her fingers across her sister's name. "You were avenged," she murmured, "and your death changed everything." Behind her, the sun rose over the rebuilt settlement. Light washed across the monument like a silent promise. Humanity would rebuild. Humanity would protect. And if anyone threatened the peace again, Cassandra Holt's voice echoed in the hearts of billions across the stars. "We won't stay merciful anymore.